Alright, so I'm gonna quickly go over the two trades that I've taken the last few days. So I've taken a trade on Euro USD a few days ago, which was a break even, and then I took a trade on GBP USD, which was a loss today. So we'll go over those trades. So on the XY on the daily, we're taking out the sell side, again, and then we've seen this displacement on the daily closed above this lower imbalance into the premium of this range. So I had two scenarios that could happen. Firstly, we could come up into this order block at fair value gap and then sell off, or we can sustain this bullish order flow and come for these highs, these relatively equal highs. So on the 4-hour, we have these equal highs, and if you take this dealing range high to this dealing range low price, this would rest inside of the OTE level. So if we go into the 4-hour, I had this redelivered rebalance as the key level, and I wanted to see price use that to push for these highs. So on the 1-hour, we had the Asia lows here, and we had the key level. I wanted to see price push up higher and come for these highs, but what we ended up doing was rejecting this high, which is the London highs, and then we displaced back lower and came back for these lows again. So essentially, seek and destroy a profile, price rejecting off range lows, and then range highs, coming back for the range lows again. So seek and destroy a profile. But because we still had the key level, which we haven't violated yet, I was still inclined to look for more longs because the 4-hour was still bullish. So until we lose this key level, I wasn't interested in flipping bias. So what we did is we had this low being engineered, consolidation, AMD, consolidation, manipulation, distribution. So that's what I was looking forward to heading into the next day. And we have the previous day low, inversion, fair value gap, also closed above the Monday high. So you can use that as well as you want to see price use the daily highs and daily lows as support to continue higher. So yeah, I wanted to see price not lose this area here. This is a key level. So took out the previous day low, and then we started displacing higher, and we then take out this high because we had SMT with EU, and then now we're starting to see this displacement lower. So again, seek and destroy profile, rejecting the range lows, rejecting the range highs. So quickly go on to EU. EU bias was bearish because we had this 3-bar swing, displacing lower. But again, because we haven't closed through this fair value gap, there's a chance that we could go higher from here. But because the 4-hour was bearish, the only way for me to flip bias was if we got a closure above this 4-hour order block, and then we turn it into a breaker and we start flipping structure. So because we haven't done that, I wanted to use the 4-hour order block as the key level, and similar to DXY, we engineered some liquidity here, Asia highs, swept it, displaced lower, and then we didn't take out these lows because we had SMT with DXY on this day. We took out the London highs, and then we displaced back into the range. So again, now we've engineered some liquidity on the 4-hour. We got the previous day high, so took out the previous day high, displaced lower, took out the previous day low, and now we're displacing back higher. So most likely we go back for the range highs again. So essentially, the short that I took was not my short, but we can quickly go over this. So took out the previous day high, displaced lower, and then when I woke up for London, I saw this deviation. So if this happened in London session, I would have already been short from or up here, something like this. which would have been a nice 2.4 hour trade, but we had this large displacement, so I was expecting price to at least come up to this upper fair value gap, but I got front run by 0.2 pips, and price just dumped straight into the previous day low. So this is the trade that I took on Wednesday, I believe. So Asia high sweep into the 4-hour order block, displacement lower. On the 30-minute, we inverted this fair value gap. So we had sweep into key level, order flows bearish, and clear drawing liquidity being a weekly fair value gap. So A plus setup. Took this, and then again SMT at these lows here. So I went break even here, and then price came all the way back up, came back down, and then just went for the highs again. So yeah, that's a classic example of why I go break even in these scenarios, because, you know, more times than not, a price is taking out significant liquidity pools and then rejecting off of it. So like we're seeing like this displacement on the 15-minute, there's a chance that, you know, this could just be a sharp retracement, but from what I've seen from journaling is that, you know, most of my losing trades would be price taking out these lows and displacing back higher, and the chances of it going for my stop loss instead of this being a retracement is more likely that this is it's a more likely chance that it's going to go for my stop loss. So this is that's the, you know, thought process of why I go to break even in these scenarios. Like, if I wouldn't enter on a retracement here, then why would I still hold the trade? You know, it doesn't make sense for me to still hold the trade if I wouldn't take an entry here in the first place, because the chances of me losing the trade is more likely than me winning the trade. So yeah, just using typical, you know, just using probabilities on whether it's worth it for me to still hold the trade in these scenarios. But yeah, I know more times than not, you know, I would, like, sometimes price could come up and take me out and then go back lower, but, you know, I know more times than not it will go to my SL. So I'd rather, you know, price take me out and then dump than price, you know, than me not going break even and then price coming from my SL. So yeah, so with me saying that, I did the complete opposite with GU. So we have the same thing here on the 4-hour. We have this range. We broke out of the range, and then you can class this as an order block, but for me I was more focused on the fair value gap, and even this upper one, I believe we tapped. Yeah, we did. So we even tapped the upper fair value gap as well, swept this high, and we started seeing displacement lower. So again, if this happened in like London session, once this fair value gap gets inverted, you can already go short here and place your validation up here, and SL TP all the way down here. So so I took my I had a limit here on G, but I didn't get filled. Same on E, missed it by 0.8 pips. So I had a short here instead. I just showed the next hourly open, high, low, close, and this one I'm more or less pissed at myself because I, you know, you see all the shit I've been saying about my break-even rules. So I didn't follow my break-even rules for this trade because I was so convinced that DXY was going to push higher that I just fully disregarded my break-even rules in this case. So we took out this low here, which I believe was, what is this? Okay, this is out of session low. There's a London close low, but that's that. Regardless of the point anyway. DXY, we failed to take out the previous day high by a few pips. EU took out the previous day low, and we had this large displacement while pound was still just chilling relatively close to my entry. And euro pound's been dumping the whole day, and then we started seeing, after EU took out the previous day low, we started to see some consolidation, and I mean, seen price start to push higher. So immediately, again, similar to here, after taking out these lows here, or we have SMT here, if you start to see displacement back towards the range, back inside your entry, then that's already a low probability filter that, you know, price is in a seek and destroy profile. You know, take out the lows, take out the highs, take out the lows, like that. So that you usually don't want to see a deep retracement back into the range after taking out liquidity. So SMT with these lows, and then price started to push higher, started to form bullish structure on the 15-minute, which should have been my indication to cut the trade. You know, closed above these down close candles. If it were truly bearish, we would see price, you know, come sweep these highs into the order block like that, and then we would see like a continuation and price sell off. But we didn't. We closed above the order block, closed above the highs. So that just confirmed the SMT for me. And you know, but yeah, to be honest, I thought my entry was actually worse than it was. So I thought my entry was like around here, so I didn't really want to close it for break even. But yeah, once I saw this candle, I already knew that it was going to go to my stop loss, so I should have just closed the trade here. But to be honest, I was already halfway through drawdown, and DXY tapped the 4-hour fair value gap, so I was pretty much just going off hope at this point that price would push higher. But I had a pretty strong indication that price would come back for these lows again. So yeah, around here I should have closed the trade for, well, that would have been like 0.5 loss, 10 pips. Yeah, so not even that, it would have been less. I would have got 0.4 R loss. So I should have closed once I seen this candle push higher, you know, closed above here. Even here I could have closed it for break even, to be honest. Once we closed above this down close candle forming a propulsion block. So that was I basically just did the complete opposite of what I would do normally, like on this trade. You know, close above the fair value gap, displacing higher, even go on the 5-minute. If we were bearish, we would have, you know, sold off after sweeping this high, but we didn't. We came back into the order block, fair value gap, closed above this down close candle, forming a propulsion block. So forming bullish structure after taking out liquidity. Same thing here, forming bullish structure here after taking out liquidity. So yeah, this is probably, there's a big lesson for me to, you know, make sure to always follow my rules no matter what, because these are two of the exact same trades, you know, sweep into a 4-hour order block displacement, and we had the same thing here, SMT at the previous day low, SMT at the previous day low, and then displacement higher. So the exact same scenario, and price went for the range highs, just like both times, range highs. And now EU is likely going to go for the range highs here if we don't start to reject from this 4-hour fair value gap. But with DXY close to these lows, I doubt it. So yeah.